Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Good morning. Really, indeed, this is a beautiful morning, and we are so delighted. I am so delighted to welcome you into Morning Spring, the Tuesday edition of this program. May we find everything we are looking for today, especially, in fact, let me clarify, reasonable and legal, because people who engage in nefarious activities, they have a way of looking for whatever they are looking for. So we can't pray for them that they get it. We can only pray for those ones to get caught or to be prevented from for a 419 person, right? He's looking for something. And so you can't pray for that person that he gets it. You can only pray that he will be prevented, he will be caught before somebody cries. So reasonable things that you're looking for, legal things that you're looking for, especially in as much as it has to do with getting closer to achieving your dreams and achieving your dreams. Ultimately, Femi Ojo is my name. In this part of the country, we call today Ojo Ishegun. That's Tuesday. So it translates to a day of victory. May we be victorious in everything that we do today. Good morning.
Pastor Femi has spoken today.
Well,
yeah, the clergyman. We hope that it translates, to other parts of the program where he prays for us, gives us impartation before the end of the show. We'll get to that part, I'm sure. It's a beautiful morning. It is the second installment, of Morning Spring on Western Spring Television for the week. And we're super delighted. It is still our anniversary. Nobody can blow our trumpet. Now we go blow them.
Yeah.
So it is still our anniversary week. It is the second day of activities. Yesterday was sports. It pained me yesterday.
That what?
I lost. I played Ludo and I lost. It was painful.
Even the Super Eagles lost.
Did you win?
I said even the Super Eagles
did you win yesterday?
I'm a winner all the time.
Which one is a winner?
It's a default setting.
The default setting. Wait, you played? Okay, I don't know who you played. You played this lady now at marketing.
In everything we do in this life.
She won. She won. She told me. A woman won though. But yes, it is what it is. We're all victorious anyway. I was victorious yesterday. Pastor has said we're all victors. Yeah. So yes, my name is Timothy Oluwala. I'm supercharged as usual. For the day. This is what we serve you. The headlines making the rounds of on the faces of the dailies, and then bringing you quality analysis of topical essential issues, going on around the country. And today is not going to be an exception.
But then we're going to do it in an exceptional way.
Yeah.
So much. We look through the front pages of the papers right now. The time is now. All right, we start from the front page of the Nation for today. Nation newspaper. Virtually all the papers today have these story. There's a headline that has to do with the abduction of school students again, actually, and it's very it brings bad memory actually. But the moment you hear school abduction, many things you can refer to in the recent past: the Dapchi girls, the Chibok girls, the Kaduna school boys, and all of those things. And even in the same Kebbi state, there was an abduction a few years ago about some government secondary school, and it has happened in the same Kebbi state again. Tinubu orders manhunt for abductors, rescue of 25 pupils. Unfortunately, Tinubu orders manhunt for abductors, rescue of 25 pupils with riders. Vice principal killed during dawn attack on Kebbi Girls School, and we will bring them back, says governor. Better do that. And nobody wants to be in the situation and in which parents who are directly involved in this are in right now. Not as a father, not as a mother, knowing fully well your girls, either 15 or 15, are in
and unsafe
in the forest with daredevil criminal. You don't want to be in that situation, and that's why it's better these things are prevented than okay. We now say we go rescue them. Rescue is because that's the next thing now. The best thing to do is to prevent those things from happening. Now it has happened, bring them back, safe and sound, all of them. No, we don't want a near shareable situation again, or the one that will take years and then you'll be doing negotiations. How did that happen, actually? And unfortunately, somebody has paid the supreme price, the vice principal. In a news report that I saw, I learned he wanted to prevent that thing from happening. Possibly it was the one around at that time. He has been killed. We learned the security man was shot in the hand. So these are criminals that are not joking. So it's always unfortunate, and I mean that with every sense of saying the word. It's always unfortunate when you now hear that these kind of kidnappers and abductors are now given, being de-radicalized under a particular federal government initiative to say, oh, we are trying to de-radicalize them and integrate them back into society. No, there are some lines that if you cross, as far as I'm concerned, there's
just
no going
remain
back.
there.
There's no going back. You want us to forgive you, we'll forgive you, but you face the law. It's either you face the law by going to jail, or you face the law and go and tell your maker. Either of the two. You can't cross the lines and then still be pardoned. For what? You can't do that. I don't want anybody to do that. And I can't imagine, I'm a young parent myself, and you can't just fathom it, that your children are not in your vicinity. It's not that they are followed one. They are not just even missing. You know that they are missing, and they are in the camp of some very terrible people that can be irrational at any time. And this is very unfortunate. We don't want to go the Dapchi again. The best that they can do now is to return them today. Actually, let them do whatever is possible.
I'm just unhappy that the clergyman is not talking about forgiveness. Just as some people have been saying, around the country, that there is a place of forgiveness.
Okay, right. Not on this matter. Yeah. Even God, there are some things they say in the Bible that are not forgivable. The sin against the Holy Spirit is unforgivable. That's from the forgiving Father. You can't do that. And even in the Bible, right? There are some Bible characters in which they are spirit-filled, but they operate on different dimensions. There is a Moses, right? There is an Elijah. There is an Elisha. Choose your prophet carefully. It's as easy as that. But now, this is beyond jokes. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah,
you don't want to imagine that.
I can't imagine. Yes, the agony.
You can't. Really?
The agony that
Somebody
the parents are going through.
And say, please report at the school. We can't find your child.
Yeah.
No. Now, they even know now that your child is not just missing. He's in the camp of some terrible people who are irrational.
You can decide to do anything at any time. Yeah. And
These
the
are
fact that part is said about returning every single one of them. Because I can't imagine a parent who has said, oh, we found the children, and then you go there with the expectation. You see parents and you find your...
That's double happening.
In fact, that agony just began at that point.
Nobody wants to think it's a serious issue. And this is not the time for politicians to come and blame one another, or one is saying, oh, you are politicizing. We don't want all of those nonsense at this time. Return these girls, all of them, completely. And if it's possible, compensate the VP family that has lost it, because we learned he lost his life because he was trying to prevent that thing from happening. That's a supreme prize.
Yes, and I think that just as we've always said on the show, it's quite unfortunate again that we have not moved past, taking proactive measures. We're always doing responsive, actions, taking responsive actions all of the time. But we just need to.
So I think you are being charitable, you are being generous by using the word responsive. Most of the time, they are not responsive. They are playing catch up. It's a different thing for you to be responsive. That means something has happened.
And
you have been given a signal, and you do everything to correct that thing.
Or curtail it at best.
That's being responsive. Not this one that somebody is trying, it's APC that is politicizing it. And all of a sudden now, somebody from the PDP will talk. I think Abubakar has talked yesterday on this matter. You will see some response saying,
countering him.
This is nonsense. This is not what we need at this time. All right, so moving on. Taraba Speaker, assisting lawmakers, Kogi Governor Idris Wada defers to APC, and this is now it's legal, right? But you will notice is what truly matters to politicians across board, irrespective of APC or PCA or PAC or whatever. It is just where next can we be relevant in power. Yeah. That is just it. Now, while those things was happening in Kirby, Taraba people are busy jumping. Yes. Taraba governor, we moved tomorrow, and you will see all of these people. We'll be on this place to talk about it as well. It will be a grand welcome, and that's what matters. So when they say politicians don't care about you, they don't. I don't think they do. Possibly the ones that do, they don't have the power. The ones that have the power, they don't care.
I mean, if that were the case, we would have seen, you know, as much change in the powers or in the cabinet of the parties, and I'm talking about the ruling party now, APC. We would have seen a lot of reshuffling, just as much as we've seen, you know, with defense. They've changed the defense ministers how many times?
The chiefs were changed less than a month ago. Here we are.
How many times? That was like the second or the third time in this particular administration. So when you say that something else matters to them more than, I mean, if the president did say we'll hit the ground running, it was supposed to hit him running across board, and especially with issues that were on ground before he came on board. That's security.
Yes,
but we've not seen enough of that.
The nation is saying Tinubu orders manhunt for abductors and rescue of 25 pupils right now. Something just flashed through my mind. Now, if Mr. Trump, in his very unconventional way, or Vladimir Putin, or anybody now, will call and regard this matter and say, you guys are irresponsible, then you flare up and say, why is it called? The only issue I have with Mr. Trump is he shouldn't have directed it against the country. Point at those leaders and tell them, you people are disgraced and you're irresponsible.
Yeah, I think who is the country?
Agree with them.
Who is the country? Actually, many people are, you know, not happy with America now, not because they do not like the people there, but because of the leadership. There's a certain way the leadership, you know, overshadows the people of the country, and that's why they are the representatives of the country. And when anybody is speaking to Nigeria, they're speaking to the leaders. They're the ones who carry the banner, who carry the flag, you know, all of those. So it rests on their shoulder.
As a state, as Nigeria with its leaders as well. And President Saluto Yebamiji at 60, Wiki and the Rule of Law, J.B. Daudu tributes law as journalism icon at Besedice at 81. And here, the latest in the series of Bass Boost, as we know it in Nigeria. Oh, Basanjo Fayoshe back at war, you know. OBJ was in Lagos to attend Fayoshe's 65th birthday. And then he said some things at that particular birthday. And when he talked about, you know, some things that have happened, people know there is an issue of no love lost between them in the past. They are always at, they are not the best of friends. And I wouldn't know why Fayoshe invited OBJ, you know, to his event.
He didn't.
I wouldn't know, maybe to close ranks or whatever.
He didn't.
But OBJ got there, and actually, while he was trying to anchor the cake cutting reception, he said some things, you know, that Fayoshe found very hurtful. And, you know, because he was a celebrant, he couldn't have responded at that time when he said, because of what has happened in the past, you know. And but he said, who is he not to forgive? I've forgiven you. And there was an applause, and Fayoshe bowed to say thank you. But just
and Monday, he said that he wasn't the best of his political children. He said it.
Yesterday, the man fired back. You know, some of those words are not things we should say here. But then it will we will watch as the event unfold. Actually, that'll be all from the nation.
And that's I don't want to wrap up that. I just want to talk about, you know, it as well. I wanted to talk about the kind of leadership that we have. I mean, these were leaders and still are, because several people, maybe, you know, still look up, you know, to them in some way. I mean, if you were at loggerheads with someone, especially an elder, is an elder in every sense of the word, an elder statesman, an elder in age, and all of those, even in experience. And he came, you know, it was through someone opportune to be at your event, and it was reprimanding you, which is what an elder would do anyway. And then you feel that the next best thing was for you to now fire back. I mean, at best, you should have responded to him at the time. You could have asked for the microphone, and maybe we would have had, would have had that. Now coming out again after your celebration to come and talk back. And some of the things you said he said are not things we should have on air.
Yeah.
Then that's terrible.
Well,
that doesn't speak to good leadership.
I'm not sure that's in our place to do, because we are talking about a 65-year-old man and
talking to who?
And a almost 90-year-old man. All right, both of them should be grandfathers, actually, ceteris paribus. But then this will be conversation for some other time. Yeah.
All right, now let's move to Punch newspaper. Punch has this headline, and it's a good thing this one is here as well. Mass abductions return, 145 missing in 4 days. That's a lot, a great number. All right, now the writer here says, kidnaps Kebbi schoolgirls, Zamfara, Niger villages, search intensifies. And right here, article, PDP react, FG pledges swift rescue. Well, we'll see, how this goes in a couple of days. Else, we'll have to discuss it right here on the show. All right, now beside the nameplate, Obasanjo, fire share reignite old enmity, trade insults. And here, just below the stories, Tinubu calls for corruption-free judiciary at Judges Conference. There's a rider before we talk about that. President Bola Tinubu at the 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Courts in Abuja on Monday. Many people would say this is just playing to the gallery.
It is what it is. That's right.
All right. To the bottom strip of the paper, federal government receives Benin bronzes repatriated from U.S. All right. Tension as Lagos street urchins. Tension as Lagos street urchins stab Air Force officer. Right there. And this here says Lagos band subscription hits 310 billion naira. And so the top strip of the paper above the nameplates, 2024 capital projects stall 2026 budget plans. Inflation hits 3-year low at 16.05%. PDP headquarters showdown, Makinde, weaker factions hold rival next sessions today. And that particular story is on page 40 of Punch newspapers this morning. And those weighty headlines right there on Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Punch, let's see the next that is up, talking about the headline segment this morning. And the Daily Trust has the same the same headline rather. Dozens of schoolgirls abducted in Kebbi. And you can see the entrance to the Government Comprehensive Girls Secondary School, Maga, Danko Wasagu local government area, Kebbi State. The picture is here. Government Girls Comprehensive School, possibly how they entered and all of those things, and, fleed these girls. Now, we are back to the era of bring back our girls. That hashtag bring back our girls.
Yeah.
That was made popular during these Chibok girls saga then that went viral all over the world. Why you cannot sometimes dissociate politics and its undertone from something like this. For many Nigerians, for parents of these schoolgirls in Maga, in Kebbi State, they don't care. Whoever is behind, whoever is pleased or not pleased, if it has a political leaning or not, just bring back my girls. And what is the implication of this actually on, the issue of the out of the school children? That menace that we're battling with, almost 20 million. And many of them, a large chunk of them is domiciled in the northern part of the country. And again, a larger part of them are girls. Girls are very disadvantaged when it comes to education in the northern part of Nigeria. So for those of them up there who still have the willingness to send their girls to school, now this has happened. What does it do to other parents who will say, I'd rather have you in my house looking at you, than to have
you in a school where you'll one day be abducted.
So you know what it does to people. Some of those persons who are not even that encouraged to send girl child to school. Now, the ones that have sent their girl child, they have been...
Now, talking of it, we do not have, a statistic to back up what I want to say. Yeah. But I'm going to say that it's possible that when that Chibok issue happened, and the other abductions, series of abductions that happened around that period, it is possible that some parents withdrew their children from school, their girls, and never sent them back.
Most likely.
Because
definitely,
that's yes, it happened, severally.
Yeah.
And it's possible that that's, just sent a distress signal to parents, and they never sent them back.
Some were returned years later when their negotiation was done
with a child or two.
And all of those. Yeah. And some of them that were lucky, some non-government organizations took them up and took them to the US. I know a couple of them. And those guys, I'm sure many of them would not like to return, actually. So that's a generation gone to that particular. And when they even return, they return as a visitor, as a guest, to come and see their people. And even when they come to see their people, they might say, meet me in Abuja or meet me in Lagos. Because that particular village will bring them PTSD. I hope our leader sees this is that jumping from this place to that place, and everybody is raising the umbrella, raising the broom, raising whatever, not really minding what really matters to the rest of us. I hope these will be different, because one unfortunate thing that happened during Jonathan era was first the denial. I remember there was that denial that it didn't happen, that there was no kidnapping. Although many stories, it's a complex situation, because some of those things too, maybe they were exaggerated, maybe it was
or underreported,
or maybe it was orchestrated to give the Jonathan government a bad name. The thing is, even if it's one girl, nobody should be kidnapped. That's just the point. Now, make justice affordable, accessible to the poor, Tinubu tells judges. Again, make justice affordable, accessible to poor, Tinubu tells judges. As far as I would like us to wrap up this moment, I watched many of the things that the president said, at that particular meeting with the bench yesterday. And there's this thing, I don't know, maybe psychophancy taking too long. You need to see that particular conversation. Almost every point that almost every line that the Mr. President makes,
there was an applause.
What? And the president was even pausing. So it looks like whenever he says these things, he expects them. Almost every line. Can you just allow, and this is coming from the bench. These are people that are supposed to be, conservative, reserved, calm, quiet, and all of those things. And it's quite interesting. So when that person talk and I say, I will make things better, and I pause, I'm expecting an applause from you. So what? Interesting, actually. All right, federal government inches towards inflation target. Taraba Speaker, 15 PDP lawmakers defect to APC. Media veteran Dana Gbese dies, and gunmen kill brigade commander in Borno. Very terrible. There was this case of a brigadier that was kidnapped. Unfortunately, I kind of confirmed, but I was in the report that the man has been killed. Actually, that's unhearable. I don't know if that exists, actually. We've seen a situation in this country where a general was kidnapped, and his fellow generals were contributing for ransom in our country. Right, it happened. Cameroon opposition candidate declares self-president-elect. 2 children die as fire got buildings in rivers. Unfortunate, actually. Cameroon opposition candidate declares self-president-elect. Trouble. Trouble is sleeping. Young guys gone to wake
Africa. Africa is actually in trouble.
Well, it is what it is. And Africa is bedeviled by itself. It's always funny, and I found it very quite convenient as an excuse when people say, oh, it's our colonial masters that are still involved in a matter. I'm not sure. I'm sure possibly you've heard it before when they say, oh, they gave us independence, but they have not really removed their hands.
Yeah.
So they are still controlling from the back end. And I would say from 1969, so where are we now? 2025. So we can't still handle our affairs. You still, Cameroon, Mali, Burkina Faso, we still blame France. Nigeria, we still blame the UK and the US. Why you are the ones stealing here and taking it there? And these are some of the issues. There's so much to really look into because of the program today. And of course, we learned the National Union of Electricity Employees as well. They are threatening to down tool because of some
And that's another form of insecurity again.
Well, because this one
in their workplace,
according to them, was not even done by non-state actors. They said it was the police who came into the place.
Another form of insecurity.
That's from their angle, right? We'll talk about that in the course of the week. But right now, we'll talk about what has happened in Osun State, where a federal high court has given a judgment concerning something very important.